they make more factories, so like Mumias is dying, Sony Sugar is dying. That is where we find employment, not building houses. In fact, you are advocating for divorce because if a teacher, you are assuming Donya is a teacher. My husband is a teacher. I contribute house taxes. How many houses will you give Donya and her family? Meaning my husband will be sleeping in another house. I'm also in the other house. What are you telling Kenyans?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Donya. Owen Bayer.
Honorable Speaker, as we come away from the entertainment by Honorable Donya, we would like to get to serious business. Honorable Speaker, you know, when I used to teach something called systems theory. When you are looking at systems theory, you needed to look at the input and the output.
Honorable Donya, what is order and bias?
Point of order. How can he say entertainment? You are making my electorate think I'm a comedian, Honorable Bayer. What are you saying? You have to withdraw, not entertainment.
Carry on, Honorable Bayer.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You need to start paying content fee for your new job. Honorable Speaker, I'm talking about systems theory. And when you're talking about the systems theory, you look at the input and the output. But at the end of the day, Honorable Speaker, the bigger picture, the whole system is very important. As we split hairs discussing the finance bill and the issues that go into it, we need to look at the big picture. The big picture is this country requires revenue. The revenue that is required is needed so that we move this country forward. What are we looking at? We are looking at 300 billion shillings. Where is this 300 billion shillings going in this finance bill? Honorable Speaker, if I come from the coast, and I come from the coast, I wouldn't oppose the finance bill because the Blue Economy and Fisheries Department, for the first time, to grow the fisheries industry in the coast, is getting 1.8 billion to ensure our fishermen have nets, our industry in the fisher industry has resources. Again, the shipping and maritime affairs industry has 24.88 billion, money that is meant to grow the maritime industry at the coast. Again, in this budget for which this finance bill is going to finance, has 2.2 billion for buying land from absentee landlords. Honorable Speaker, if you come from the coast and you oppose this finance bill, the finance bill which is going to finance all these beautiful good things that the president wants to do for the coast region, who are you fighting for? That is the question that I ask. Who are you fighting for? We need to look at the big picture. When we collect all these resources, all this money, whether it comes from hair, from nails, from condoms, like Donya said, from wherever it comes from, the bigger picture still remains an important thing, and it is about what we get from it. And I'm very sure after this finance bill, the coast region will rise because of the money that we have. Honorable Speaker, again, the question is, where do we as a country want to go? Do we want to go over the cliff through more borrowing, or do we want to stop borrowing, start looking at inward revenue and use that revenue to ensure that we can develop this country, or we want to go over the cliff with debt? Honorable Speaker, many of these people who I shared a podium with when I was in ODM believed what Kibaki did when he was president. That Kibaki brought in the new saying, kulipa ushuru ni kujenga taifa, ni kujitegemea, kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. A lot of them believe in that mantra. They believe in the Kibaki economics, which was about self-sustaining a country through taxes. Today they will sit here and say we cannot pay taxes, we should not pay taxes. But what I want to look at, Kenya Kwanza has a manifesto which it has to fund, and that funding must come through taxes, and it is these taxes that we have to collect as a government and ensure that Honorable Wandai, Honorable Mbui, they have enough money for their roads in their constituencies, that they have enough money for CDF, and this money will not come from donors, it will come from the taxes that we pay. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, Honorable Speaker, the coast region where I come from is known for cement manufacturing. This cement industry has been for a long time stifled. So the Chinese have built these roads through imported cement, and yet this country has a capacity to produce cement, employ many people, and use the local people and local resources to create wealth for this country. Today I'm happy because this finance bill imposes a heavy tax on imported cement, giving an opportunity to the cement industry and the cement industry in this country to develop. Honorable Speaker, we have the ultimate duty as leaders to ensure that we sacrifice just like our ancestors and our forefathers sacrificed for this country. We cannot be talking about me and I and the other. We need to look at the nation, at the country. Kenya must rise, and it cannot rise.
Thank you, Ruth Odinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to oppose the financial bill. Mine would be to start by saying that there's no Kenyan who does not want to pay tax. And we are not here to say we are opposing this financial bill because we don't want to pay tax. I think every Kenyan is paying tax and has been paying tax. Probably they are only complaining that the tax that they've been paying, they do not know what it does that benefits them as such. And that now that they're not even satisfied with the one they've been paying, they're now being made to pay more than what they've already been paying. And I think that should be stated clearly, because it's important that we are not misled by the KK brothers of ours here to say that we are saying people should not pay tax. That is not the case. I would like to start off with the fuel levy. For me, I thought that one of the reasons that the fuel levy was actually reduced from the 16% to the 8% was during the COVID times, when the country was going through a very terrible time and there was a revamp in a slump in our economy. And after that, we are now in a period that we are stating that the economy is now back to normal. I don't think so. I don't know why the Kenya Kwanza team have decided to agree. The government is saying that now we are back to paying 16% from 8%. Yet the economy is worse. People are suffering more. Most businesses are still closed since COVID. What has happened that has informed us to now state that the fuel levy should go from 8 to 16%? I think that was too much of a drastic change. We all know that the fuel levy is going to affect the whole of the economy, especially Kenya being an agricultural economy. With the fuel taxes going higher, it means, therefore, we are going to be paying more for machinery in the farms, we are going to be paying more for transportation of our goods, and this is really going to affect our economy. On top of that, we are saying that the VAT should be put on export goods. If we do that, we are killing the same export that we are expecting Kenya to be a net exporter of our goods. How do we then start putting VAT on those exports? Number two, I would like to talk about the reason why the women of Kenya started Mama Mboga. The Mama Mboga movement of us, where we are now having women doing table banking, be charging things that I think is going to make this country to flop. Third and most, I come from Kisumu County, and Kisumu in Western Kenya and the whole of Western Kenya most of what do you call $100,000 actually said that
family gakagaitu.
Family?
Yeah, we ndungenda kuona to Steve Junior tugethaka gukuguo. Hino tugethina hari oguo.
Ndiwe cirio oguo.
Utumia nginya utari gitio.
Tonaga gukwaria ndeto cia kihiko gia.
Wakonjira uri agukwarĩria. Ndienda woyage thimu cia mubi twe nawe. Either mubi kana nie. Period.
Ciehanda thinacara cia hwaini tukoragwo na doctor's appointment. Oguo ni kuga giathi na ndagitari.
Ni wega kuonekana ni ikundi ciothe cia ndagitari aria magirwo ni gukuona.
Bata ugathi thibitari netha maundu maya ari magathutukanio.
Tuguikara thi tuthikiririe ni tondu ino ni thibitari hakuhi nawe.
Iria tukwenda umuthi ni iria twitaga ultrasound.
Jerere tugaga ni gacicio ka ritho kageaga ndogo.
Tukorwo tugithomithio horo wigie mirimu ya meciria, mirire miega, mirimu ya mahindi, mirimu ya ngoro ona nginya kwaria nigetha ngoro citu cithere nigetha tugatarwo na njira igwete.
Macicio matithukagia maitho. Macicio ni maguteithiriria.
Ithimi cia pressure ya iguru yagirwo gukorwo ya 120.
Nitucenjetie mirire tukaria na njira njuru.
Muthenya wa mwambiririo nginyagia muthenya wa Friday ino ni thibitari hakuhi nawe urabatarwo kuhingurira television yaku.
Ngina mimi.
Ya Mungu ni mengi. Msichana mdogo kajikuta hana baba wala mama. Kisha kapata mama wa kambo ambaye aliaga muda mfupi baadaye. Tajiri mmoja jina William kamchukua kama baba wa kambo na kumlea hadi kakoma.
This girl is going to live with us from now on.